three-point field goal percentage. How will they adjust? They also have to compete on the boards. Second chance points were 21-7 in favor of Kent State.
What do you have for the Flashes?
For the Flashes, defend and rebound. You could copy and paste what we've talked about all season long. For these seniors, that's been their identity. Their entire career for this team, that's been the identity all season long. Get stops, rebound, second chance points. That leads to good offense for Kent State.
Eastern Michigan starts with the basketball. A team that clinched a MAC tournament bid with an impressive win at Ohio just 3 days ago. They're winners of 5 of their last 6. Deshaun Nelson over his fellow AAU teammate from Toledo, Claron Hornbeek. Those two gave each other a hug right before tip-off as we take a look at the IBW NICA starting lineups. Marquise Barnett, the senior, getting the start tonight, and a steal by John Shannon, the second, who rocks the rim. And oh my, a scary fall there for the center. Not something you want to see. And glue guys that they need, especially to protect the rim at 6'11". Jalen Billingsley is going to come in for him, the senior from Cleveland. And a disaster situation avoided. Good to see Shanu was all right. And Kent State with their second offensive possession, I should say, and second straight turnover off the jump. Christian Henry attacks inside. Nelson the kick, and it's stolen away by Barnett. Getting the start on senior night. Oh, he missed the dunk. And he'll go to the line for 2. Osoynik came from behind in the foul. Barnett, he tried to throw that one down. If you watched Kent State's game against Western Michigan, Barnett did miss a key dunk down the stretch, but he's got hops that jump out of the gym. When he gets a breakaway, no matter what, he's going to try and throw it down.
And if you watch that game, I know you'll remember the play, and he missed the dunk. But the thing, I talked to Marquise right after that game, and I told him it takes a lot of toughness to have a play like that, to miss a dunk, and then to come back and come up with a huge offensive rebound. If you continue to watch that game down the stretch, he came up with a huge O board that gave Kent State an extra possession and ultimately led to them winning a game.
Barnett with that make, 42 of 62 at the free throw line, came in 67.2%. 4 points, 3 blocks, but as you mentioned, 7 rebounds. Second free throw for Barnett is pure. Barnett has been coming off the bench as of late, but he gets the start on senior night. If Kent State's going to make a run, they're going to need him, whether he's in the starting lineup or off the bench. Kent State starting all 5 seniors tonight. Claron Hornbeek in there instead of Rico Gillespie. Christian Henry goes into the body of Barnett and draws the foul.
Choppy start to this game. A lot of whistles. Sloppy for Kent State on the offensive end. But you can see that Eastern Michigan, the mindset is aggressive, get downhill.
Eastern Michigan's highest score was just 10 points in that first game as Billingsley finishes on the roll. Kent State did such a great job in that first game. They won 70-49 on the road. Stan Heath said that wasn't the same team we are now. Jalen Sellinger connects on his first 3-point attempt.
If you're a Kent State fan, you love to see that first one go in for Jalen Sellinger, and the way he's been playing lately. Hey, we talked about in the open, he's got the ability to take over a game, and he's done just that several games over the last stretch.
Eastern response with one of their own, Billingsley. One of 4 double-digit scores for the Eagles at 10.5 points per game. He's got 5 early ones. Sellinger was the go-to guy in Kalamazoo on Tuesday in the Flash's 1-point win over Western Michigan. Had 31. He now has 2 30-point performances against Western Michigan this year. But Kelja, a rare 2-point attempt. No, gets it back. And he'll try and find Hornbeek, but the 3rd turnover already for Kent State. Eastern Michigan, top free throw shooting team in conference play in the MAC, is a turnover by the Eagles. This is the Jalen Sellinger 3-point shot. You can't give him that type of look if you're Jalen Terry defensively.
Can't give him that much space, can't give him that much time. This is a gym where he's made so many of those threes, and you know he wants to go out on a good note on senior night.
Sellinger, in terms of the all-time ranks in Kent State men's basketball history, came in 4th in three-pointers made at 219. He's now up to 220. Why not 221? Yes, sir.
We saw in the first couple of possessions Eastern Michigan really trying to take away that high post entry pass that led to the first 2 turnovers, trying to throw it into Von Cameron Davis. They gamble and go for one on that. They're really crowding that position. Jalen Sellinger recognizes that, flares it, gets himself open on the three-point line.
Osornik has been a decent shooter all year for Eastern Michigan, the sophomore from Slovenia, but he misses that one, 34%. And this is the tough thing about defending a Jalen Sellinger, in that most guys in the Mid-American Conference are not able to make that shot. He extends the defense so much, which in turn opens up driving lanes.
And now we've seen 2 of those go in. His range is going to extend as the night goes on.
You see how far Terry is picking the senior from Columbus up. He draws 2 there. Barnett, a hop, skip, and a jump. Sellinger looking for 3. There it is!
We keep getting further and further from the rim. The more of those that go in, the more confidence he is going to have. He walks in this gym with confidence. 3 for 3 from the three-point line in the first 4 minutes. The ball's going up for the rest of the night.
Through his first 2 games in MAC play, Sellinger was shooting the worst percentages of his career, a little bit below 30% as the Eagles turn it over. But get this, from the start of February, Sellinger, coming into this one, was shooting 23 of 52 from 3. He's 3 for 3 to start tonight, so 26 of 55. That's 45% since the calendar turned to February.
Yeah, there was a time early in the season where his three-point field goal percentage was in the low 30s, up closer to 31%. He's a 39% shooter for his career. The number on this season is creeping closer and closer to that.
Von Cameron Davis picks up his first field goal. He's the leading scorer still for Kent State, just a tick above Sellinger, 15.1 versus 15 flat. Eastern's trying to get this guy going, Deshaun Nelson, and can't get the bounce, tapped around into the hands of Sellinger. Kent State with the
Eastern running 2 guys at him in transition.
He's thinking about even pulling it from there. You can look at his eyes. 2 seniors have already scored tonight for Kent State, at least field goal wise. Hornbeak going to work. The fadeaway, that's a tough shot, and a late whistle and a foul on Billingsley. Kent State humming early on in the offensive end. Sellinger and then Von Cameron Davis from the mid-range. Flashes by 6 on 6 for the first time. Sion Medley comes in for Mike McKelja. Claron Hornbeak to the free throw line as Stan Heath pleading his case. It was a late whistle against Billingsley. Hornbeak knocks it through, 72%. Also second in the MAC in field goal percentage. He's a valuable asset. Listen, Rico Gillespie's been playing so well for Kent State, but they're going to need a 2-man punch in the front court down the stretch next week.
Absolutely. Claron Hornbeak has just been solid all season long. We've seen, say, the emergence of Rico Gillespie as he comes on the floor right now. But for Kent State, you know exactly what you're going to get with Claron Hornbeak. He finishes, he rebounds, he defends, and when he stays out of foul trouble, he can be a major factor for Kent State.
Rico Gillespie, we'll talk about him in a moment. He comes in for Claron Hornbeak. Another player who had a fantastic contest on Tuesday night. Eastern's been a feisty team all year. You know they're not going to go away without a fight, and Barnett just absolutely snatches that out of the air. Second steal for the senior from Saginaw, Michigan. Medley is the usual starter at point guard. He gets his first chance directing traffic. 10 to shoot. A little bit of a logjam here between Davis and Sellinger. Out of bounds. It will stay with Kent State. That's fortunate for the Flashes as they still have 8 to shoot.
A bad spacing there and end up with getting bailed out to get the ball back. Kent State will take it out in the deep corner right here.
Marquise Barnett, he led the Big South in steals a year ago at Presbyterian. When he can impact the game defensively, it's when Kent State's at their best.
Marquise Barnett is, we've called him the X Factor. Deep.
Heat check moment.
Yeah.
Not every single one of them is going to go in.
But back to Marquise Barnett, we've called him the X Factor at points in this season. He is a defense-first, energy guy, but he has emerged as that third or fourth scorer in the rotation for Kent State, and as they've gotten better offensively late in the season, it's been a lot on his shoulders.
A swarm around Deshaun Nelson, and another steal for Marquise Barnett, his third. In transition, Davis wants three. Give him three.
Good patience in transition right there, looking for your trail shooter. Love the confidence from Vaughn Cameron Davis to knock down that trail three.
It's a 13-0 run. Eastern doesn't have a bucket in over 4.5 minutes. Jalin Terry can't end the streak, and Gillespie cleans up the glass. Barnett downhill, nearly lost it. Goes back to work, size mismatch. Off the window, no, but a foul against Dylan Tingley. Everything going the way of the Golden Flashes right now. This is the pressure on Deshaun Nelson. Rob Senderoff says, and he touched on that 40-point victory over Toledo, it started with their defense, which leads to good offense.
Absolutely, for Kent State, that's been their calling card for this entire season. And like we said, for these seniors, that's how you get on the floor for Kent State for their entire career. It's defend and rebound, and then good things happen in transition offense.
Jamal Sumlin comes in for Jalen Schellinger. Eastern Michigan also with a couple of sub. Gazlov Nawabude. Yusuf Jihad comes into the game for the first time in the front court. Oh for 2, but Gillespie cleans it up with a rim rocker. If you're Stan Heath, you got to be frustrated at that one.
Nightmares over Rico Gillespie. He absolutely dominated the glass at their place, and he again has picked up right where he left off. This guy is tough to block out.
Count them, 14 offensive rebounds on Tuesday night. Absolutely ridiculous. Had 18 points, 18 rebounds. It's a 15-0 Kent State run. Henry's in trouble. Cross-court Terry. Gotta let it go. Unable to hit, but on the offensive glass, giving Gillespie a taste of his own medicine. That's Nawabude.
See, Eastern Michigan, a solid offensive rebounding team. I think they're going to struggle to block out Kent, but they may go get a few of their own.
Stan Heath turning to his bench to give them a little bit of a jolt. Kent State has come out and put on the early pressure. Davis, the soft touch, and possibly an opportunity here for the Eagles to punch back a little bit before the under-12.
And that's just how much respect they have for Vaughn Cameron Davis. A lot of times you see teams go double him when he's on the block or just off the block trying to post up. Eastern Michigan is going to double him at the high post right now. That is a huge gamble, but it shows you just how dangerous Vaughn can be from that spot.
Jalin Terry, leading scorer for Eastern Michigan, had only 10 points, one of the lowest totals he's had all year, and continues to be flustered by this Flashes defense. Davis traveled. A transition opportunity. He just couldn't get the ball out of his hands before his feet came down.
Saying some uncharacteristic turnovers from Kent State so far early. First 2 possessions came up with turnovers. Now they have 5 in the first half. This is a team that typically turns it over 12, 13 times for an entire game. So something that even with an 11-point lead, the coaching staff will be addressing in the next media timeout.
Eastern trying to prove that Kent State is not their kryptonite. It was in Ypsilanti. So far it has been so tonight. Jihad spinning, floating, no, a whistle and a foul. Jihad will go back to the line for 2 free throws when we come back. Kent State by 11. Jana, Rico Gillespie on the offensive glass.
Rico Gillespie.
And Andrew Mitchell. Antonio Gates, who was just recently inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. He came with Stan Heath, who was an assistant under Tom Izzo at Michigan State. Antonio Gates transferred from MSU to Kent State. And he joked, he said, Antonio Gates, the guys would laugh, he couldn't even pass the conditioning test early on during that season. And then he turned out to be one of the key parts of their Elite Eight run. I also asked him about Kent State's former athletic director, Lane Kennedy, who recently retired last year. He said one of the best people and men I have ever met. We started that year 4-4, and he always had my back, had my support, and really helped us to the year that we had. Sullinger in the lane, can't hit it. Tipped around into the hands of Henry. Kind of cool to see someone with that history back in the gym, but he's on the other side this time.
I just saw Lane Kennedy just before we started the broadcast, and he was picking up a roster, and I joked with him, like, you got to, who's the coach, who's that guy's name, what's that guy's name on the other bench? And he really got a kick out of that, but probably a cool moment for him to be sitting at Ken and watching this many years later, somebody that he gave an opportunity to become a head coach.
Sullinger had his first missed field goal in the last possession. Unselfish as someone. Medley attacks. Oh, the floater. That's a tough bucket by Sion Medley. He wanted an and one there.
And I thought he could have gotten an and one right there, or maybe even before the shot. A lot of contact, but it's March. It's MAC basketball. You can't expect that type of call. You know you're not going to get that next week in Cleveland.
Of course, in the MAC, it always gets a little bit more physical when you hit Rocket Mortgage Arena. That really happens around the country. Refs will let you play a little bit more. Henry, great dump off inside. Jihad with a chance for three.
Like you said, incredible pass. Rico Gillespie goes up to contest. Does a great job walling him up. But when you step up and help as a big man, that dump off pass to your guy right behind you, you leave yourself vulnerable.
Jihad in his 6th season of college shoots, 4th with the Eastern Michigan program. Coach Heath said he was so happy for him. He said when Deshaun Nelson got into foul trouble, he had to go to Jihad, who scored 10 points last game. Talked about him staying loyal. Sinks the free throw, completes the three-point play. Take a look at the all-time series. Kent State leads 50-37. It's been a house of horrors for Eastern Michigan. Ever since the start of the 1999 season, Eastern Michigan has only won once in this building. That was back in 2018.
And you look at the matchup from game one. Claron Hornby's going to go back to the free throw line. That matchup in the first game, Kent State their defense holds Eastern Michigan to 28% from the field, 26% from the three-point line, only 49 points. Kent State absolutely dominates on the glass, dominates the points in the paint. This game tonight is going to tell me a lot about Eastern Michigan. Like, what adjustments are you going to make? How are you going to score on a really good Kent State defense? So far, haven't quite figured it out.
Hornbeek knocks through the free throw. There's still such a long way to go, and Eastern's offense is a force to be reckoned with. Talking to Stan Heath, he said matchups do matter down the stretch. Rob Senderoff was a little less emphatic about that as Hornbeek goes 1 of 2 from the stripe. Both of these teams could rise as high as the 3 seed. In order to do that, they would need Ohio to lose to Toledo tonight. We'll keep you updated around the MAC with scores and the potential bracket as it starts to break down. Deshaun Nelson hits the floor a little slow to get up. He's helped up by his teammates.
It's crazy that we've made it to this point in the season. 1 game to play for all of these teams, and so much movement can still happen with the seeding. Both of these teams, fortunately, have clinched their spot. There are teams in the league who need to win tonight to ensure themselves a spot in Cleveland. So for both of these teams, you want to finish healthy, finish with some momentum, and be ready to go give your best showing next week.
Nelson, the turnaround. That's pretty. Down 11, Eastern's clawed their way back within 7. And early momentum by Kent State is slowly but surely starting to swing toward the Eagles the last couple of minutes. Davis has been such a strong three-point shooter at home. Size mismatch, but a rejection by Henry. Great defense.
Would have liked to see Vaughn take that shot from the three-point line. I think he hesitated and decided to maybe smartly use his size and physicality and get towards the rim.
Billingsley noticed the mismatch. Drew 2, kick out Terry, and that is a brick. Nice job by Sullinger, kind of shading a double, but he still did a decent job on that closeout. Knocked out of bounds by Henry. Stays with the Golden Flashes. This is Deshaun Nelson. Mind you, he's the 3rd leading scorer in the conference. This is his type of game, the turnaround over a tall 6'9" Claron Hornbeek.
That's a tough shot. Cloron Hornbeek is a really good defender.
Sullinger has had much more attention paid to him the last few minutes. Henry daring Medley to drive. The turnaround, the floater, no. Offensive rebound, Hornbeek out of bounds. Kent State with a fresh 20.
Good effort on the glass from Cloron Hornbeek. Thought he maybe got fouled to try to go up right there. Gives Kent State another possession.
Kent State #1 in rebounding margin in conference play. A rebounding margin of +6 and an offensive foul against Cloron Hornbeek. He knocked down Christian Henry. 16 foul already with 8:45 to go in the first half. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, during conference play, Eastern Michigan as a team is shooting 77.5% from the charity stripe. Magnus Entenmann comes in for the first time, but they're not a team you want to put at the charity stripe, especially their backcourt of Jalen Terry and Christian Henry.
Say these guys can knock down free throws for sure, and if you're trying to chip away to lead, getting to the free throw line is the best way to do it.
Henry slips, pleading his case to the referee. Let's take a look. Does he have an argument here? Don't think he does. 8.5 to go here in the first half on senior night inside the Mack Center. Dane Richardson and Jenna Ashley, appreciate you hanging out with us on this Friday night. A lot on the line for seeding in next week's MAC tournament at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. Davis for the first time trying to create some position inside. Now it's going to work with a pick and roll, and Sullinger was bothered out there, and it looks like he got clipped up high. 15 foul on the Eagles.
And you see just how tough Eastern Michigan is making it for Von Cameron Davis to get a touch anywhere on the floor. They are fronting this guy on the post, trying to deny him at the high post, sending double teams at him. Kent State, you know you want to have the ball in his hands, but you got to be smart. You can't force it and turn the ball over when somebody else might be far more open.
Kent State a little bit smaller than Eastern Michigan right now. No Gillespie and Hornbeek. They're going with Mag Entenmann. He hadn't played since February 25th against Toledo. Sullinger gets the ISO against Henry. So good going to his left. That's a clear foul. And they're going to call it on the ground. It's only the 16th foul, so no free throws for Kent State. Under 8 to go, we'll take a timeout. Probably going to be winning in. Ball State is going to lose, so they're going to be out. They're losing to Miami on the road to the Red Hawks senior night. Toledo and Ohio, who are playing right now, they could possibly play again. That's something to keep an eye on. Those two teams are battling right now inside Savage Arena. Central Michigan is winning in at NIU. VCD inside and is fouled.
Good look on the baseline out of bounds to get Von Cameron Davis a touch right at the rim. Tough for Eastern Michigan to go double when he catches it that deep. Von will get himself back to the free throw line. So you see him just using his size, being physical, bullying his way to the rim. That's the Von Cameron Davis that Kent State people love.
74% of the season, cans the first. 77 of 104 with that make. I mentioned Sullinger was 12th in the all-time scoring list. Davis is just behind him at 14th. Over 1,280 points in his Kent State career. Longest tenured player on the roster. Entenmann's going to be called for a push in the back. And that's going to be a 1-and-1 situation coming up for Billingsley. That's the danger of letting Eastern Michigan into the bonus early on. 7:51 left to go in the first half, and no matter whether it's a shooting foul or an on-the-floor foul, the Eagles are going to be shooting at the stripe the rest of the first half.
And you love the hustle from Magnus Entenmann on the free throw line right there, trying to go get an offensive rebound. But the flip side of that is you risk giving up a really unnecessary foul and putting Eastern Michigan on the free throw line.
68% is Billingsley, and he's got the first. Billingsley playing 25 minutes or more off the bench in his last 4. Also has multiple offensive rebounds in his last 4 games. Local Cleveland guy from Lutheran East High School as he toilet bowls home the second free throw, and Eastern has chipped their way back to a 2-possession game here.
And Magnuson even on the floor, getting probably some unexpected minutes. Rico Gillespie with 2 fouls right now. Wondering when we'll see Claron Hornbeek back into this game.
A reach in there, that'll go against Osornik. Kent State and multiple teams have made it an effort to attack Osornik in isolation situations defensively. Stan Heath mentioned that they often see a lot of that on that side of the ball. The 8th team foul on Eastern Michigan. So Barnett will go to the line for a 1-and-1 situation. Tingler comes back in for Osornik. Kent State 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Make it 7 for 11. You know, in the MAC tournament next week, if you want to win 3 games in 3 days, you have to shoot probably 75% or better at that clip, unless you're going to dominate the entire game, because you know most of these games are going to be close.
Absolutely, and for Kent State, the best free throw shooting team in the league. Their free throw percentage has been above 70 all season long, but it has gone up slowly as the season has gone on. Kent State's a team that knows how to win close games, and like you said, getting to the free throw line and knocking them down, it's going to be important in Cleveland.
Tingler doesn't score too often. Jihad's had a couple of buckets and bricks a 3. That didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock doesn't reset.
No reset. No way.
And I don't know about this. Are they going to look to see if this hit the rim? This is a huge benefit for Eastern Michigan now, because it bounces in March. That's the name of the game. It'll be a baseline out of bounds. Let's see if Eastern Michigan's able to capitalize on it. Inside, Tingler turning around, fading away, can't hit it, and Davis the rebound. Kent State's led by as many as 11. Eastern's been within as many as 6 after that firestorm in the first 5 minutes by Jalin Sullinger. Davis to his left. Good job by Tingler preventing the back door. Medley off the bounce, a rare turnover on the dribble. Kent State's had a lot of uncharacteristic miscues on that side of the ball tonight.
Say just poor spacing from Kent State, and like you said, uncharacteristic turnovers. Their mistakes are keeping Eastern Michigan in the game right now.
Christian Henry, a nice turnaround. 14.3 points per game. The junior college transfer from the Windy City. Sullinger's been awfully quiet since he started 3 of 3 from deep. They're trying to get him a look right here. He gets a look. Nearly capitalized, and Billingsley Windexes the glass.
A good execution from Kent State right there. At this point, you got to find a rhythm offensively. All of the momentum that you had early in the first half is completely gone.
There's another whistle and a foul against Kent State. This is Christian Henry, the back down, and smart move. He knows Jalin Sullinger's going to give it his all defensively, but 6'3" against 5'10". Henry knows what to do with it, and now he's got a chance at the line too.
Christian Henry's a guy who started all 30 games this season. Shows the trust that this coaching staff has in him. 35 minutes. He's a guy that they rarely take off the floor.
Fourth in the MAC in minutes per game, 35.4. Scored 23 points at Ohio on Tuesday night, 8 of 12 from the field, 6 of 6 from the line. All of a sudden, Eastern's back within 4, and Kent State has really lost any offensive momentum they had. Wap Sumlin comes back in for the Flashes. It's almost like a bucket would just be a sigh of relief for Kent State. Davis with the mismatch, double team. Now he lost his dribble. Oh, he has Sumlin. He finds him. Sumlin floats it up. Oh, that's a bad miss.
And like you said, for Kent State, it's just find a way to get a bucket right now. Stop the bleeding. We've seen both teams go long stretches without being able to score. And that's a frustration foul from Jalin Sullinger.
And that's
unnecessary. Going to put Eastern Michigan back on the free throw line.
And that's number 2 on Sullinger. So it looks like Sion Medley's going to come in for him. You know the back down's coming. If you're Sullinger, what's the best way to defend that there? Do you hope someone else comes and helps out for a double?
Trust your help. Trust your help. And you know Kent State, anytime one of their smaller guards, because they've been small on the perimeter all season, anytime one of those smaller guards is getting back down, getting posted up, they bring a double. They know how to rotate on the backside. They'll force the kick-out pass. And for Jalin, just not enough patience right there to allow the double team time to get there.
With the way Rob Senderoff usually plays things, with one of his players has 2 fouls in the first half, Sullinger's probably not going to play for the rest of the first half. So Kent State's going to need some production from the backcourt of Medley and Sumlin here.
And we've seen both of those guards have big games at different points in this season, very different games. You see Wap Sumlin, he's got the back down, the post-up game, he's physical.
Great defense in the half court by the Eagles. Medley cutting Barnett. He collided with Hornbeak, and Eastern can take their first lead of the night with a 3. Jihad, and that's a tough turnover by Henry. A lot of this run, granted, Kent State's had some unforced errors, but it hasn't been Jalin Terry. Christian Henry has been at the spearhead of this Eagle attack, and he's got him back within 2. You can see his confidence continues to grow from the start of the season until now. Davis a 3. Not there, and the drought continues for the Kent State offense. Eastern on a 6-0 run in the last 3:12. Kent State hasn't scored in over 3.5 minutes.
Hasn't scored, and they have had so many empty possessions where they don't even get a shot on the rim.
How about Christian Henry? He ties the game at 26, an 8-0 run for the Eagles.
Christian Henry in Marquise Barnett has had huge games at different points in the season. Sion Medley's had a big game offensively. Jamal Sumlin had a 20-point game earlier this season. This is going to be a time where if they're going to guard Vaughn with 2 guys, one of those other players has to step up.
Hornbeak into the post. They're trying to attack Henry. They get the double. Medley had a good look. He doesn't shoot it, and he turns it over.
Passes up an open shot and then ends up turning over the ball. I think that's 4 turnovers for Sion Medley on the game tonight. This is a guy who is the best in the MAC with assist-turnover ratio 2-to-1. This is completely uncharacteristic, but for Kent State, another turnover. This is sloppy.
Jalin Terry in transition. He's not going to stay quiet for too long. It's an 11-0 run for Stan Heath Eagles.
Kent State beating themselves right now with turnovers.
It's amazing how this game is flipped in such a short amount of time. An early lead does not mean that much in March. Someone trying to calm the Eagle run down. Cannot from 3. Hornby, good effort, but it's had by Jihad. Does it seem like Kent State's settling a little bit?
I wouldn't say set. I think they've passed up some shots and tried to attack the rim. Eastern Michigan is doing such a good job crowding on these drives, taking away the paint. Kent State's going to have to knock down some long shots to stretch the defense and open things back up.
It's difficult to do that. And look who's at the table right now. Jalen Sullinger, and he has 2 fouls. That's a rare move by Rob Senderoff. He usually does not pull the trigger when someone has 2 fouls, but he knows how much his offense is struggling right now.
Rico Gillespie back at the table right now as well.
6 to shoot for Billingsley. Trying to do it himself, a 3. There it is.
Everything going right for the Eastern Michigan offense right now. Kent State can't find a rhythm, turning the ball over, sloppy offensively. Eastern Michigan with all of the momentum. A
14-0 run. Kent State had a 10-0 run early on. Barnett trying to stop the bleeding, cannot. And it seems like 3 after 3 there. And Eastern Michigan slowing the pace early on in the season that favored Kent State. But the Eagles are doing a nice job boxing out. They're taking away the paint. And they're getting much better shots offensively.
Maybe a reason why Rico Gillespie is back at the table right now, because we know what he is capable of on the offensive glass. Maybe that gives Kent State some life if he can go get some O boards and easy putbacks.
This is Jalin Terry in transition. So prolific, and then Billingsley near the end of the shot clock. That's when you know things are going well. Billingsley just 31%. That was just his 12th three-point make of the season. Kent State desperate for a stop here. This last 141 is crucial for momentum going into the break. Oh, he got Sullinger in the air, and that's number 3. So Rob Senderoff takes the risk, and Jalin Terry goes right after him, and Marquise Barnett is going to have to come right back in for Sullinger. That is a huge play.
Huge play, and huge even for the second half. You have to think about then as a coach, do you start Jalen Sullinger with 3 fouls? Do you leave him on the bench for a couple minutes to start the second half? The impact that he had on the offense to start this game, and now he's going to spend a significant amount of time on the bench.
What was a dream start to senior night for Sullinger. 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. Now a 16-0 run for Eastern Michigan has them with an 8-point lead. There's still so much time, of course, the entire second half. Mike Bekelja's back in.
For Kent State, it's execute offensively.
Mike Bekelja wants 3. Still can't stop the run. Davis has a second chance, though. Attacks inside. The pump has a chance for 3. That's a big bucket for Kent State.
Huge bucket for Kent State. Huge for momentum, just to stop that Eastern Michigan run. And it comes on the offensive glass. Von Cameron Davis giving himself an extra possession, using his body, being physical. The pump fake, I love it. Going up and finishing through the contact. Veteran move by Von Cameron Davis.
Cashes in on the free throw. Believe it or not, if Kent State gets a stop here in a bucket, this could still be a 1-possession game going into halftime. That's hard to believe, considering from the 7-minute mark on, Eastern Michigan has dominated every aspect of this game.
Say we had an opening where Kent State dominated, and then we had a long segment where Eastern Michigan dominated. A lot to talk about, adjustments to make when both of these teams go into the locker room at halftime.
Henry step back is smooth. If you let these guards get going, look out. He's been trying to back down Henry all night. Great feed, Barnett. Kent State has gone cold from 3, and a nice job forcing a jump ball, and he keeps the possession alive, does Davis.
Like the inside-out offense from Kent State. You see Jamal Sumlin backing his man down into that post-up, sees the double team, unselfish pass on the kick-out. Those shots are going to fall for Kent State.
Kent State's 1 for their last 9 from beyond the arc. Bekelja usually does not want to shoot it from 2. Barnett will, and he banks it in.
Good find from Mike Bekelja. Good cut from Marquise Barnett. Again, Kent State doing a better job taking care of the ball. Those shots are going to fall, but you have to execute offense and get a shot up on the rim.
And that's the first time out by Stan Heath and Eastern Michigan as we take a look at Billingsley. There's only a 2-second difference between the game clock and shot clock, so presumably Eastern will hold for the last shot with a 5-point lead. Henry has been fantastic in the first half. He'll let the clock dwindle down to 10 seconds before his action. Double teamed in the baseline. 3 to shoot. Terry gotta let one go. Terry with 1. He didn't get a shot off. Kent State might ask to reset the shot, rather the game clock here. See if too much time ran off, so they can maybe get an extra 1/10 of a second. I think that's what Rob Senderoff's saying right now.
I think he's going to ask him to go look at...
Because there should be about 2.4 left, because that was the difference between the game clock and shot clock. Oh, no, they're not going to reset the clock. That's interesting. Tingler will guard the inbound against Medley. Looks like they let an extra 0.8 run off the clock after that shot clock violation. Barnett, good if it goes. Way too strong. And a fantastic finish to end the first half for Eastern Michigan. They go on a 16-0 run. Once down 11, they're up 5 heading into the break. The star man, because Toledo is up on Ohio. If Ohio lost to Eastern Michigan's able to hold on, it would be Eastern 3, Kent State 4, Toledo 5, Ohio 6, Western 7, and Bowling Green 8. Central, though, is win and in if they come back to beat Northern Illinois in the second half out in Mount Pleasant. Start of the second half here inside the Mack Center on Kent State's senior night. Looking to create a turnover right away, nearly doing so with Sion Medley. The question was Jalen Sullinger going to start the second half? The answer to that question is no.
And for Kent State, you're going to have to find offense in other places. With Jalin Sullinger, a huge offensive weapon, not on the floor, the amount of attention that they spent and placed on Von Cameron Davis, you can turn that up a notch.
Christian Henry led all scorers along with Billingsley with 10 first half points. 8 to shoot, the sophomore from Slovenia, Osornik, the left hand.
Nice move with the back down, turning with the left hand finish. Again, these Eastern Michigan guards using their size, getting to their spots and finishing.
You assume a double's going to come to Davis. There it is. Barnett cuts off of it. He's solid in these type of situations, just throws up a prayer, and Gillespie keeps it alive, 11 to shoot. No matter what, it seems like whenever Von Cameron Davis gets the ball, there's always going to be a second defender on the way.
Always going to be a double team, whether he's on the block. And tonight, even when he catches it at the high post, Eastern Michigan has 2 guys on him all the time.
Barnett, he's been cold all night from 3. Eastern Michigan, clearly it's been an emphasis after that 14 offensive rebound game from Rico Gillespie. He's been awfully quiet tonight. Deshaun Nelson Trout.
Good defensive stop for Rico Gillespie right there to bounce back. Solid defense, puts his chest on him, forces a travel.
Kent State searching for their first bucket in the second half of play. There's been a lot of sloppy basketball. 21 combined turnovers. We're just at the start of the second half. Eastern's daring Medley to shoot, and that seems like a good decision. Medley has been awfully cold. He's 1 for his last 12 from beyond the arc, and he only shoots 25% from deep. Kent State, it almost seems like they need someone in there to stretch the floor, and no one's been able to do it. Some nights Barnett and Medley have been hitting from deep, but so far it has not been their night. Osornik's already backed 1 man down. The floater, the soft touch, no, and Davis wants it more on the defensive glass. Barnett attacks, silky smooth to the rim.
And maybe tonight that's the answer for Kent State. Get some stops, get out in transition, be able to get to the rim before Eastern Michigan can get back and really crowd the paint.
Ever since that early run, Kent State has not had an answer offensively. 10 to shoot, Henry downhill, oh, the pirouette.
Kent State late with the defense. Henry taking on multiple golden flashes.
Leads all scorers with 12. If Jalen Terry or Deshaun Nelson is able to get going, listen, Kent State's doing a great job on those 2, but they just haven't had an answer for number 30 in black and green, and Marquise Barnett already with his second bucket of the second half, and both of them attacking the rim.
I like Marquise Barnett attacking the rim. When the outside shot is not falling and they're double teaming Vaughn on the block, you need it from somebody else. And Marquise Barnett is capable of taking somebody off the dribble and getting to the rim.
Another ISO between Henry and McKelja. Big time 3 from Christian Henry. And it looks like Wap Sumlin's likely going to get in there because Eastern is clearly making an effort to attack McKelja defensively right now.
Mike McKelja, typically a solid defender. Right now, Eastern Michigan taking advantage.
They doubled Davis. He got the look, but a foul underneath. It's an 8-point lead, the largest of the game. This is Marquise Barnett going all the way to the rim.
See, Marquise Barnett's a guy who can get out in transition, can get to the rim. He can also do it in the half court. He spends a lot of time catching it in the corner, and they would like him to catch and immediately just rip drive it straight baseline, get to the rim, maybe get himself back to the free throw line as well.
Davis almost had an option over the top. Jamal Sumlin comes back in for Mike McKelger. Barnett feeling it a little bit, but Kent State's going to reset with Medley. Still not a ton of options here from beyond the arc, at least consistent options, I should say. Medley is fouled. That's only the first on Jalin Terry. Second team foul, but it could be a positive sign for the Flashes if the Eagles accumulate too many fouls quickly, although they're not in danger just yet.
For Kent State, just continue to execute offensively, set solid screens, run your offense to try to get Vaughn a touch on the block where you force a double team and allow him to kick out.
Barnett's been short from deep all night. Medley will try it. Ice cold are the Flashes from beyond the arc, and it seems like a great effort by the Eagles. They are completely taking Rico Gillespie and his offensive glass game off the mark. Deshaun Nelson with a three-point play. The Eagles picking right up where they left off from the first half. Time out of the floor will take 1-2. A double-digit lead for Eastern Michigan. Now, if Swoop and the Eagles are able to beat Flash and Kent State, it will be a season series split 1-1, and both of them will be at 10-8. It will then be a four-way tie if Toledo holds on against Ohio. All four will be 10-8. You would then look at the cumulative records against those three teams that they're tied with. Both Eastern Michigan and Kent State would both be 4-2 and split the season series. Then it will become who has the best win. Both of them did not beat Akron, but Eastern did beat Miami. Kent State did not. So that's why Eastern would be the 3, Kent State would be the 4, with an Eastern win tonight and an Ohio loss.
And only Dane Richardson can segue from a bird graphic to all of the scenarios, outcomes going into the MAC tournament. Glad you're here, and that's your role. I'll just talk about on that last possession, Von Cameron Davis back to getting to the rim. You know that is the conversation in the huddle for Kent State. When the three ball's not falling, don't settle. We've got to attack. We've got to stay aggressive. Got to get high percentage shots.
Look who's back in the game. Jalen Schellinger with 3 fouls. Certainly stretches the floor. Medley, he needs this one, and he's got it.
Timely bucket from Sion Medley. He's had a way of doing that all season long. He is quiet, typically just runs offense, gets the ball where it needs to be, but he understands when his team needs him to score. He's a really savvy kid. Huge bucket for Kent State.
And guess who? They're isoing against the man with 3 fouls. There's got to be a double likely. Henry the fadeaway. No. Loose. Who wants it? Medley scoops it up. Sellinger gets an angle to the rim. Oh, he missed the layup. Medley, the tap back, couldn't hit it. Now a run out for Nelson. It'll be a hammer. What a turn of events.
It's been that kind of night for Jalen Sellinger. Got off to the hot start, 3 for 3 from the three-point line, and a lot of things haven't gone right since then.
They double Sumlin in the corner. Gillespie had Medley, and it's a blocking foul. The shot will not count. 3rd team foul on Eastern Michigan. And this is a huge play because the Sellinger layup could cut it to 4, could make it a 7-0 run in a minute. Eastern didn't get back. There's nothing wrong sometimes with a little bit of cherry picking.
Absolutely. The layup doesn't go down. The putback from Sion doesn't go down. It's been one of those nights for Kent State. But as bad as it has been at times offensively, you find yourself only down 8, 14 minutes to go. You're at home. A long time to go in this basketball game, and a lot of things can still go right for Kent State.
Somehow Davis got out of that chaos, got it off to Hornby. Sellinger, oh, he gets an angle, the teardrop, great defense inside. And once again, you always see in the defensive glass 3 or 4 black jerseys in there. Kent State was able to capitalize so much against Western Michigan, even though they didn't shoot well from the field. Jihad had the mismatch, and just like that, Eastern's back up by 10.
And that's one of the things that coming into this game I was really interested to see. What does Eastern Michigan learn from that first matchup a couple of weeks ago? And one of them was you have to compete on the boards. And right now they're not just competing, they are absolutely dominating Kent State.
A foul underneath. Ooh, Stan Heath is saying, hey, that should have been a jump ball. 4th team foul on the Eagles. Kent State, if they stay on this pace, they're on their way to get in to the bonus rather quickly. Medley, oh, bad pass. Terry stole away Sullinger. That could have been his 4th foul, but how about the hustle by Jamal Sumlin?
Huge hustle play from Walt Sumlin, not giving up after the turnover. You know, Jalin Sullinger can't come down and contest with the 3 fouls he has, but big time effort from Walt. This guy is going to compete from start to finish. That might be the type of energy play that Kent State needs to get going.
Cheerleaders in the way, doesn't matter. Wap Sumlin's coming through. Jihad has had his moments in the first half. How about that? The soft touch, unorthodox, little bit of a push shot. He's got 4 in a row. Slow but steady. Eastern continues to chip away. Not rattled. Around the horn, Sumlin did not want to shoot it. They've doubled him a lot. Medley will try another one and connect.
Another big shot from Sion Medley, but an even better pass out of that double team from Wap Sumlin. He's a bigger physical guard for Kent State. He can back you down and post up. Eastern Michigan clearly respects the post-up game because they've sent 2 at him in the last 2 possessions.
That 3 from Medley towards a 6-0 Eastern Michigan run after Kent State got it to 6. Drive and kick. Terry, pump, open. Couldn't hit it, but the offensive glass by Billingsley. Those are killers for an offense that's clicking right now as much as Eastern Michigan is. Sullinger with 3 fouls into the body of Hornby. Christian Henry delivers again. Henry is down. You don't want to stop the play. And now they're going to stop the play. Christian Henry is down holding his left hand. This is the last thing you want to see right now if you're Eastern Michigan. Let's take a look. Does Hornby go straight up? This could have been an and one. It kind of looks like he does. Henry makes it anyway. We're not really sure how he landed.
Just an awkward fall right there.
This changes the game if he's out.
Absolutely changes the game. Kent State has not had an answer for him, a guy that could match up and guard him, contain him at all. For Eastern Michigan, you're hoping for the best. You hope you can get him back on the floor.
17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, an 11-point lead. Still a lot of time left to claw back for Kent State, but they really had that one little gasp of momentum. Ever since then, nothing really doing. Sullinger, he had 9 points in the early going. Since then, scoreless.
And that's a look that you want if you're Kent State. Jamal Sumlin attacking the rim, the kick-out pass for a corner 3 for your best shooter. That's the look you want. And for Eastern Michigan, I don't know if there's a bad look on the floor right now.
14-point lead, the largest of the contest for Eastern Michigan. Jihad has 12 points. He averages 4.1 a game. That was just his 15th three-point make of the year. Confidence oozing out of the Eagles right now. Next whistle will bring us to another break. Sullinger and an offensive foul.
That's going to be his 4th.
I think it might go against Hornbeak. We'll take a look at it when we come back. Could be on Sullinger, could be on Hornbeak, but all East. What do you see there?
You know, there's so many plays like that this season that you think could be called illegal screens, and it's kind of dependent on the night of how much they're going to let you get away with for a game in a league that is so physical. Sometimes you question those, but you know, it's on Claron Hornbeak. It's not on Jalin Sullinger, which would have been his 4th. So if you're Kent State, you'll live with that one and move on to the next play.
Could this be a momentum-changing play? And I'll tell you what, that's a fantastic recovery by Dylan Tingler, the freshman, because now you send, not that Gillespie's a bad free throw shooter by any means, but that could be a dunk. It could be a momentum-changing play, as smart as of a foul as you could have.
And you see 2 plays like that, one from each team so far in transition, not giving up on the play, not giving up a dunk. it shows you just how much this game means to these teams, to these guys. It's going to be nothing easy for the next 11 minutes.
And look who's back in the game, Christian Henry. That changes the complexity of things and likely makes it much more difficult for the Flashes to punch their way back into this one. Gillespie's 2 of 2. The Flashes went in a short 5-0 run out of the last media timeout, but Jihad, Terry, Henry got injured for a moment, but now he's back in. Seems like every guy in the floor right now for Eastern Michigan is a weapon. Henry back in. He wants the isolation. Surprise, Eastern's not attacking Sullinger here. Jihad, he draws the foul against Davis.
Eastern Michigan staying aggressive, getting to the rim.
I'm going to say it's on the floor. Eastern thought he should have been going up. It's only the second on Davis, 13 foul. Both teams really comfortable in the team foul situations. The only person that's significant that's in foul trouble individually is Sullinger with 3. Great hands by Medley, but now Abude gets it back. Little shimmy. Sumlin trying to lock in defensively. Henry couldn't hit it, and a strong defensive possession. We have not been able to say that for very much in this second half. Terry reaches in and fouls Medley. Nearly halfway through. 16 foul on Eastern Michigan.
We kind of get the flip side of that first half. We saw Kent State jump out to a lead, get sloppy, put Eastern Michigan on the free throw line, allowed Eastern Michigan to chip away and eventually take a lead. Eastern Michigan doing the same thing, getting a little bit sloppy, unnecessary fouls. They're about to start putting a really good free throw shooting on a team on the line for the rest of the game.
Davis in the post. There's the double. Medley's had 2 in the second half. Sullinger mismatch. Great help defense. And somehow gets it out of there to Von Cameron Davis. 5 on the timer. Medley's got to let it go. He does. Hits the rim into the hands of Osoynik. Discombobulated would be a great word to describe the Kent State offense.
Absolutely.
Henry with his eyes up. Yusuf Jihad has been hot. And 2 straight stops for Kent State defensively. Can they capitalize on the offensive end? Oh, they leave Sullinger open, and he makes some pay. Oh, did he need that?
Kent State's offense needed that. Jalin Sullinger's confidence needed that shot. If you're Eastern Michigan, there's one guy that you can't lose in transition, and he's the one.
A whistle and a timeout by Eastern Michigan. It's just a 5-0 run. There's Sullinger in transition. Eastern Michigan using a quick timeout, trying to halt whatever momentum Kent State had built up. It's an important night. Rob Senderoff called it a sacred night for Kent State's program with how much these seniors had given. They want to send them off on the right note. Of course, they'd much rather have success next week than tonight if they had to choose, but they want to have both. Nelson in the lane, all good hands by Gillespie. Kent State's within single digits, a 5-0 run with an opportunity for more.
And talking about the seniors and senior night and what this means, they see single digits. We know Jalen Sullinger can go on a run by himself. Von Cameron Davis can go on a run by himself. There's a lot of toughness in this group that's on the floor right now. Don't count Kent State out.
Sullinger gets the step, the left hand, no. Gillespie on the offensive glass, puts it in, plus 1. Here come the Flashes.
See, some of the things that really stand out for Kent State and stood out in that first game. Jalen Sullinger's ability to score, Rico Gillespie on the offensive glass, the things that had been quiet up to this point in the night. As Kent State makes a run, it's Jalen Sullinger wide open in transition, Rico Gillespie with the offensive rebound put back.
Six-point game. It's all the way down to 2 possessions. An 8-0 run in just over 3 minutes for Kent State. Can Eastern weather the storm? The guy with the ball in his hands, Christian Henry, has been the answer all night. The Flashes' defense intensifying in the last few minutes as the crowd's starting to get into it on senior night. Here's Billingsley, had 10 in the first half. Henry with 5 on the timer. Way out there, Tingler, 1 to shoot, letting it go. Hits the rim, no, out of bounds. Whose ball is it? Oh, it's Eastern ball. That's a close call by the naked eye that looked like it was off the hands of Billingsley. Sion Medley might have a strong argument there. They cannot review that. Let's take a look. Ooh. You be the judge at home. Always a tough job. And a foul against Sumlin. Only the 4th team foul.
Jamal Sumlin gets called for the foul right there, but I like this matchup. Jamal Sumlin takes a lot of pride on the defensive end. He wants to step up. He wants to be the guy to guard Henry right now.
He is, and he gets the steal. A runaway. Sumlin, he's going to take it himself. No. Medley a second chance. Sellinger 3. Sticks it.
Big possession. And for Kent State, everything starts on the defensive end. Jamal Sumlin steps up to the challenge of guarding Henry, gets out in transition. Sion Medley gives his team another possession. And Jalin Sellinger is hot again.
An 11-0 run. As loud as the Mac Center's been tonight. Christian Henry, the spin. Pass is tipped. Billingsley couldn't lay it in. Oh, and a foul. Oh, boy. Another questionable whistle, according to Kent State fans. As we'll take him. Job done for you. He's playing in his 112th game tonight. He started well over 70 games in a Golden Flash uniform. Billingsley at the free throw line, 68% of the year to stop the 11-0 run, and he does.
They don't want to see Rico go to the bench and stop the momentum on a call like that, but you know, for Kent State, you get Claron Hornbeek, you get the core of this senior class. Ron Cameron Davis, Claron Hornbeek, Jalin Sellinger back on the floor in a 2-possession game right now. There's a lot of fight left in Kent State.
So much time. What seemed like Eastern Michigan's game to the end. Is that the last run Kent State's going to make, or do they have one more punch left in him? Sellinger. Oh, he gets the whole bounce, and it's a 2-point game. His 6th 3-pointer.
If Kent State finds a way to win this game, you're going to look back at the wide open 3 that Jalin Sellinger got in transition and know that that's what got him going again, because he's a guy who can carry this team and can put Kent State on his back and win a game.
Billingsley, Sellinger has 3 fouls. Hornbeek gets the switch back. 5 on the shot clock. Nearly stripped away, a steal. Medley finds Sumlin, has an alleyway. Sumlin ties the game.
Kent State getting done on the defensive end. We talked about that transition bucket that Marquise Barnett had early on. That's the answer tonight for Kent State. Get stops, get out in transition, score before Eastern Michigan's defense has a chance to get set.
Defense chance booming throughout the Mac Center. It's a 16-2 Flashes run. Henry nearly traveled. Oh, Jihad has been great all night long.
Good cut, good find from Henry. Picks up his dribble. His teammate gives him an easy look.
14 points. A season high for the 6th year from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Over the top. Oh, man, was that a risky pass and a foul? That's the 8th team foul. This is going to be a 1-and-1 situation.
Sion Medley finding Jalin Sellinger in the corner, getting the bounce, and then you see again Kent State get stops, force turnovers, get out of transition, create easy offense.
1-and-1 situation for Davis, 2 of 3 tonight. Gets the roll in the first. Out-of-town scoreboard update. Toledo is up by 12 with a minute to go. So the winner of this game will be the 3 seed in the MAC tournament. Now, if Eastern wins, Ohio will fall all the way to the 6. If Kent State loses, they will play Toledo. Davis, 1 of 2. If Kent State ends up winning, they could match up with Eastern Michigan or Western Michigan, depending on how things go. Eastern's by 1, still over 5 minutes to go. Ages in March. Nelson's back in there with 4 fouls. Sumlin's done a fantastic job defensively. Oh, they lost Billingsley, and he makes the Flashes pay.
Not sure what the miscommunication was there on defense between Claron Hornbeek and Von Cameron Davis, but nobody guarding Billingsley on the three-point line.
A 5-1 Eastern run. It's back to a 4-point advantage. Kent State has made a furious comeback. They just haven't been able to take the lead. They've tied it at 1 point. Medley has 2 in the second half. Not there. Hornbeek, great hustle. Oh, he had a dunk, but he passed it up. Sumlin delivers from 3. 3 is better than 2, isn't it?
Didn't realize how open he was. Glad Jamal Sumlin can knock that one down from the three-point line. Makes it a 1-point game.
Where would you rather be than right here, right now, inside the Mac Center? We got a dandy for you here on Senior Night. Nelson against Hornbeek. Wants the back down. Needs to be careful that he can't push off. Great defense. Kicks. Terry with 4 to shoot. In the corner. 3-ball. That's big time. Osoynik.
Big time 3 for Eastern Michigan. You needed that one. It was a good defensive possession for Kent State. They rotate. Eastern Michigan makes the extra pass and another extra pass. And finally, late in the shot clock, makes you pay.
Good feed. Sumlin hit a 3 on his last possession. In trouble, and Terry kind of bails him out there. Not sure that Sullinger would have touched it. We're at the under 4. Eastern by 4. The winner, the 3 seed on Thursday in the MAC tournament. Trading
big bucket to make it 2 possessions again for Eastern Michigan. See, Kent State does a good job rotating, scrambling, playing that team defense that we've seen all season long. Eastern Michigan makes 1 more pass and gives up a corner 3.
Can the Flashes cut it back within 1 possession? Medley downhill, goes into Henry, had it blocked. 5 on the timer, floats. No, Hornbeek tips it up and in. It's a 2-point game. Still no Gillespie. He has 4 fouls. Sullinger with 3. Jihad with 3 for Eastern. Nelson with 4. He's on the floor. Over the top. Oh, they get the look. Osoynik. Oh, he missed the open layup. Kent State can take the lead with a 3. A near steal by Henry. So after you hit the big 3, you blow the wide open layup.
Seen so many momentum shifts in this game. 1 possession with 3 minutes to go.
Medley for the lead. Yes!
Huge shot from Sion Medley. We talked about his inability to knock down 3s for the majority of this season, but he comes up with 3 huge 3s in the second half. Kent State takes the lead under 3 minutes. I really like this group that's on the floor for Kent State. These seniors aren't going to go down without a fight.
They call a hold on Hornbeek, team foul number 6, so no free throws. Let's take a look at the Medley 3, and hey, they're daring him to shoot, and he's making them pay.
For Kent State, you have to continue to get stops, continue to, can't put them on the free throw line.
And they do. 1-1 coming up for Christian Henry. 2nd on Sumlin, but the 7th team foul. Henry was 17. 4 for 4 from the line tonight, was 6 for 6 on Tuesday at Ohio. Once again, the winner, the 3 seed in the MAC tournament. Kent State, if they fall, will be the 4 seed and play Toledo, the 5 seed. Henry ties the game on the front end of the 1-1. 2:42 remaining. Eastern led by as many as 14 in the second half. Kent State led by as many as 11 in the first half. It's been a game of runs, but with how much production this senior class has put forth and a miss by Henry, you knew Kent State wasn't going to go down without a fight. And now they have the ball for the first time in the second half with an opportunity to take the lead. Sullinger had 6 threes. That's accounted for all of his 18 points. Do they double Davis? 10 in the timer. Henry shading that direction. Davis goes right, spins left, off the glass and in.
Man, what a move from Von Cameron Davis. They take away his left hand, force him to go right, still finds a way to spin back to that strong left hand and finish in a lot of traffic in the paint.
Henry nearly lost it, gains it back. Did he travel? Nelson with 12. Baseline, in trouble, nearly threw it away. Tipped and Sumlin has the steal. Sullinger calling for it. And Kent State's going to slow the offense. Rob Senderoff approves of that decision. Medley to the cut, floats. Oh, looks like Osoynik got a piece of it. Coming down to the final 2 minutes. Into the post. Nelson turns. Nelson couldn't hit. Hornbeak cleans up the glass. Kent State with an opportunity to go up 2 possessions with just over a minute to go.
Comes up with another huge defensive stop. Coach Cindy wants a timeout. This offensive possession is huge for Kent State. You have to execute. If you're Kent State, if you're Eastern Michigan, you can guess that the ball is going to be down the stretch. A really good win going into the tournament. Right here, I'm expecting Von Cameron Davis, Jalin Sullinger to get a touch. If you're Kent State, you just have to take care of the ball. You have to get a good shot up on the rim, use clock, but get a quality shot. Cannot turn the ball over, especially live ball, and let Eastern get out in transition.
Who's it going to be? They look for Davis. Hornbeak's going to have to go to Sullinger. Can the senior make one more play happen on his night? 5 to shoot. He lost the ball. Hornbeak's got it. He puts it in. How about that fortunate bounce? And Kent State's up by 2 possessions for the first time in the second half with under a minute to go.
No foul.
And a timeout by Stan Heath in Eastern Michigan. I'll tell you what, this seemed destined for a Sullinger turnover. And Osoynik just couldn't hang on to the ball. Hornbeak, a 3-6 game. That's if those results hold. NIU could still come back, and Eastern could very well win this game. Still down 4, lots of time, 45 seconds to go.
Ball back in Jalin, in Henry's hands. He's been the guy who Kent State didn't have an answer for.
Osoynik, no, loose, gets it back. Second chance, 30 ticks to go. Wild shot, Medley's got it. Shot clock is off, Eastern's gonna have to foul. Way too much time being let off the clock, and Billingsley fouls the best free throw shooter on the floor, and Medley's firing them up here at the Mac Center.
Kent State's defense comes up with one more huge stop. Gives Jalin Sullinger a chance to ice this game on the free throw line. Say this group, this 5, when they came on the floor, I know we thought Rico Gillespie going to the bench with that questionable 4th foul call wasn't going to be good for Kent State, but this group of seniors, Von Cameron Davis, Jalin Sullinger, Claron Hornbeak.
A lane violation against Kent State, so that waves off the Sullinger free throw. How big is that? This game is not over.
Not over, and we have seen crazier things happen.
Don't mention
in the Mac Center.
That was our first game together. Henry off to Terry.
Got to guard the three-point line.
Billingsley can't cut it to one. Sumlin a big rebound, and he's fouled. Sumlin's flipped over. They might review this. Doesn't seem to be any bad blood. Give him the free throw on the ball.
Just an upgrade. This was not a dead ball technical. That would have been extra free throws. This should just be free throws plus possession for Kent State, which Jamal Sumlin goes to the line and knocks these down. Should be able to ice the game.
Sumlin, 83%, 31 of 37, now 32 of 38. 2 of 2, it's a 6-point lead. I'll tell you what, the score was 57 to 43 Eastern with about halfway through this first half, rather second half. Kent State since then has scored 31 points to Eastern Michigan's 11.
Say the group that ended this game, the 5 that's on the floor right now, they found a way to lock in on the defensive end. When you do that as a Kent State basketball team, when they get stops, they get rebounds, they stop giving up second chance points, they got a couple of buckets in transition. That's how you win games.
Davis at the free throw line. What does this mean? Rob Senderoff says it's so important for this program to send off our seniors the right way. Look behind you. Sion Medley and Jalin Sullinger with their arms around each other. Guys like Davis, guys like Sullinger, guys like Hornbeek, Barnett and McKelger are going to check in, so you have 5 seniors on the floor here to wrap it out at the buzzer. They dealt with adversity, but they got it done tonight.
Say this group, these seniors, they've been through so much, particularly that core 3, Vaughn, Claron, and Jalin. They've won championships, they've lost championships. They're going to go into a championship week in Cleveland with a lot of momentum, winning 2 close games against really tough tournament teams in the past week.
Henry, no, out of bounds, Eastern ball, 2.4 to go. Kent State is going to be the 3 seed on Thursday in the MAC tournament, which means they will play the final quarterfinal game. Kent State fans will have to wait some time throughout the day. That was the bracket if it started tonight. A foul with 0.5 remaining. That'll give us some more time to talk about the bracket.
Claron trying to get one more block in the MAC Center.
That bracket right there, we're getting a look from our producers. So Western Michigan, Kent State's going to play Western Michigan in the 3-6 game. Bowling Green just fell. Central Michigan trying to hold on late. Northern Illinois is down 2 right now with a chance to win the game against Central. Osoynik hits the free throw. Regardless, though, if Central wins, NIU just tied the game. So if Central loses, then BG's in as the 8th seed. If Central wins, then Central's in as the 8th seed. As Claron Hornbeek will check out. All of the seniors will check out. They're going to get a nice hand from these Flash fans.
We see this senior class getting an ovation from the MAC Center crowd, walking off the floor one last time. I'll say one more thing about the senior class. Every single one of these guys is on track to graduate in May. Something that you don't see happen everywhere. These guys are winners on the court. You got a chance to go win another MAC championship next week. But really proud of the work and the accomplishments that they have on the academic side of things as well.
Kent State winners on senior night, 76-70. Down 14 in the second half. They claw their way back for a 6